Welcome to Tater Talk, the podcast where we dive deep into the world of exceptional Lamb Weston experiences. I'm Rachel.
And I'm Haley.
And in today's episode, we'll explore what our premium promise is and what it takes to uphold not only stand out in the market, but also leave a lasting impact on customers.
Yes, and in today's episode, we'll be speaking with some of our favorite Kims. Kim Cupelli, who's our Senior VP of Marketing and Innovation, along with Kim Hoffman, our Senior Director of Marketing for North America Food Service.
Yeah, we'll do a quick little bios. They're both pretty hefty, so buckle up. We will introduce Kim Capelli. As Haley said, she's the Senior Vice President of Marketing Innovation at Lamb Weston. She's been with Lamb for over 7 years, and her previous leadership role at Tyson Foods and Kraft Heinz. She's a seasoned expert in the food industry marketing, and she's also serves on the board of Potatoes USA. So she's really involving herself in the potatoes and by promoting innovation in one of America's favorite foods. And she also holds an MBA from Duquesne University and a bachelor's in economics and business from the University of Pittsburgh. So if you ever want to talk like yins and yins, go to her. And she's known for her creativity, leadership, ability to solve tough business challenges, and she's a massive reader. It's always funny. Every single team call we have, she's always recommending a new book. So if you want to talk about book recommendations, Kim's your girl.
Yeah, and nobody has an excuse that they can't find the time to read because if Kim can, anybody can.
Exactly.
And I am so lucky to introduce our other Kim Hoffman. She's the Senior Director of North America Food Service Marketing and Global Portfolio. She previously worked as a Market Development Trade Specialist for the Idaho State Department of Agriculture. So she, again, very heavy in potatoes or understanding what agriculture takes to grow these crops. Kim holds a bachelor's in international relations from Georgetown University and double majored in international business and political science at Lewis University with a minor in philosophy of law. I feel
Every
like I
time
can't.
it blows my mind.
I read that sentence and yeah, it's incredible. But her diverse academic and professional background makes her a strategic leader with a deep understanding of global markets and innovative marketing. So we are just so lucky to have her and Kim Capelli. Both are experts helping make Lamb Weston a household name amongst all fry lovers.
So stay tuned for our conversation with Kim's.
Okay.
Okay, Kim and Kim, welcome to the show. We're excited to have you both today. I feel like we'd be doing a disservice if we didn't. We already read both of your intros and the bios and the plethora of things that y'all have done. But Capelli, I'll start with you. What do you love about the fry industry?
Oh my goodness. Well, first off, I for 25 years I've been a super user, so I've been in fries for my whole career, starting at Heinz. I even worked on a Rita. So I don't feel like there's ever been a week in my life where I haven't eaten fries twice a week at home and then away from home. I don't know. I always like to say that I'm the original Happy Meal because I was at Heinz for ketchup, then I went to Tyson for chicken nuggets, and now I'm here for
You
fries.
really are.
Happy Meal.
I can't
Full circle.
go after her. That's the best answer ever. I think my answer now is very different than it would have been because I love it that I have bragging rights with my 5-year-old and my 2-year-old that I work at a French fry company.
Yes.
So super cool. I'm the best mom ever, and I get to do fun things every day.
That is
According to
Hey.
my kids.
You got
Nobody
great
hates a
clout.
fry. Nobody
What did you
hates
say?
Nobody
hates.
fry.
No.
Oh.
No.
No.
I've been on a lot of businesses.
Never.
Like I've been on desserts, and you think everybody would love chocolate cake or cheesecake. There's the reaction. But I've never heard anything bad about a French fry.
No. And there's so many
Yeah.
kinds. You can always find something that someone likes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, love it. Well, thanks for answering that first, but we'll go ahead and jump right into our premium promise. Kim Hoffman, I'll start with you. How did the premium promise come to be?
How much time do we have? I could tell you the whole journey, but it's been
Break it down.
it
We have
has
plenty
been-
of time to talk about it
do.
in future episodes too.
as a good host would say. We've been on a journey for a bit, but I can say that it, technically started from the sales organization of saying we need a story. We need a strong Lamb Weston story. We're in different times than we have been in the past. And so, it really came from the sales leadership to ask for some marketing support in telling that story. And we just dug right in. We started talking to a lot of salespeople, talked to a lot of customers, And we talked internally with cross-functional teams and in marketing and started to really unpack that premium is hard to define. We all have different perspectives of what premium means. And packaging that all up in one simple, easy to say anecdote is really, really hard. So I'm really proud of where we're at because, as we'll unpack it today and in future episodes, you'll see how it all has come together just to really talk about how we are the premium brand in the market and why we should be, claiming that and be really proud of that.
Mhm. Yeah. I think it's been fun to see just in some conversations we've been having with people too of how much they're able to talk about it without even really know what our previous promise is fully yet. Like we've been having some of these conversations early on
Yeah.
and they're talking about our premium promise without knowing that they're talking about our premium promise.
Yep.
Amazing.
I didn't know if Cupelli, if you wanted to add anything. I know you weren't directly involved with maybe the creation or the start of
Yeah.
our premium promise, but if you want to add any of your own layers to it.
So, yeah. When Kim Hoffman first brought it to me and I saw, I mean, it's evolved the logo itself. And I first saw it, I was like, they did it. They did it. They nailed it. And the reason, I think there was a couple of reasons. One, I feel like it's super repeatable. I could just see, talking to customers about, hey, let me talk to you about the Lamb Weston Premium Promise. It's so sticky. It's easy to say. It sounds unique. But when I really sat on it for a while, what I really loved about it is it embodies a lot of our Lamb Weston culture too, which is through the good and the bad. Like that, when you have a great promise, like it's not always going to be great. It's not always going to be good. Sometimes it's going to be bad. And how do you get through the bad together is how you end up delivering a promise. And so, like, it didn't strike me as that like initially, but as I sat on it, I went, not only do I love it because it's so sticky, and people are like, is she saying the word sticky? Yes, like it's memorable. It
Marketing
sticks in your
term.
brain.
You know what you mean. Yeah.
That's what marketing sticky means. It sticks in your brain. So it's like really easy to repeat. And but at the same time, like, wow, it's deep, good and bad, through the good and the bad. So I love it for that reason.
And I think we're not saying we're going to be perfect. And we haven't been, right? We never will be. But it's what I love about Promise in the essence of what this whole campaign and rallying cry is that it brings forward a commitment. And that's what I've always felt at Lamb Weston. We are committed to our customers, large and small, of all sizes, of all regions. And it just puts that kind of that accountability back on us. And I think we've always lived it at Lamb Weston, but now there's just more of a statement, which is really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I think this is kind of a perfect segue to talk about what that statement is, and then what hopefully it'll mean to the entire organization. But I'll just rattle off the rallying cry really fast. We relentlessly pursue potato perfection to deliver the best tasting and highest performing potato products. And when we talk about that rallying cry, what does that mean to both of you to feel like we have this one phrase that we can say to pull us all together? And I could put that on either of you.
Well, I'll start it. How about I start it? Because
Go
I
for
know Kim will go into more of the detail around it, but there are a couple of words in that statement that I bold and underscore and put into a font size 40. One of the words is relentlessly. Like that is such a deep, strong word, right? That kind of goes to the good and the bad, talks about our culture, right? Best tasting and highest performing. So at the end of the day, our operators, they don't know if their employees are going to show up or the truck at the back of the door is going to show up or customers are going to show up at their door, right? They don't need more frustration. And the fact that we claim to be the best tasting and highest performing, and whatever that highest performing means to them, is a bit of what this promise embodies. So I'll let Kim go from there. But there's a couple of really strong statements made within that statement that I think are really important for how we portray ourselves.
Yeah, you hit on some good points. The things I would add, or the thing I would add is pursue. So it speaks a bit to we're not ever done. We're never stagnant. And that's why it's really fun to put the building blocks of premium promise together, because we're talking about farm to fork. And in all of those aspects, we're always innovating. We're always thinking of ways to improve. That's definitely our culture. So I really love that that's a subtle kind of nod to our overall corporate tagline, like seeing possibilities in potatoes. We're always looking out at what's next. And Kim did a really good job at underscoring that we do that with the customer in mind, right? It's not self-serving. We want them to win, because when they win, we win. We all win together. So I like that forward progression that's always at the heart of what we do.
Yeah. I think it's a lot of really good context of around the word promise, right? Like promise can be so ambiguous, but this really puts tactical things to what we're promising. And again, too, it's like it's not going to be perfect, but we're going to relentlessly pursue like every single day, no matter what area that is in our company. And so I think, like I said, I think y'all touch really well on the promise. And I want to lean a little bit more into premium because that can also hold so many different meanings. I think we've seen that as well. So when it comes to our world of potatoes and fries, can you share a little bit more about what premium should mean to everyone who interacts with Lamb Weston, no matter where it's at, to the point of like from farm to fry throughout the whole process?
Yeah, I can start. I think just like we all feel with our premium brands that we follow or we love or we're loyal to, I think it comes down to relationships. I think it comes down to how we show up for our customers. And I think that's just a really good way to capture the whole process, because you could lean into premium product. You could get really technical and talk about grade level. You can talk about how premium we are in our facilities with, the type of talent that we hire. But to me, it comes down to a more genuine aspect, which is
Mm-hmm.
just how we treat each other and how we treat our customers, and how we do that with integrity and with pride and with a ton of expertise. And I'll end on that part too, because I think there's an area that we can lean even further into, which is we are the potato experts from farm to fork and everything in between. We know potatoes better than anyone else, and we really need to keep talking that up. And that's why I'm excited to interview the real experts as we get further into this podcast and really start to show the different layers, all the layers that make up Lamb Weston and where all those experts live. It's really cool.
Mhm.
Kelly, did you want to add anything onto that?
I think maybe I'll just sort of reinforce a bit what Kim is saying, which is when you think about the best brands in the world, and we all have a handful that we go, man, I love that brand. It's usually because you can identify yourself within it, because
Mm-hmm.
they spend so much time to understand what is their role.
Mm-hmm.
How, what need am I fulfilling for you as a consumer?
Mm-hmm.
How do I make you feel? Right? They always say the words don't matter, it's how you make somebody feel. So Kim was talking a bit about the relationship of that, but there has to be substance, right? So I
Yeah.
can't like offer all these cheery words and make you feel confident if I don't deliver. And
Mm-hmm.
so, and the only way we know how to deliver is by deeply knowing who our customers are. So we rely on direct to operator engagement. We constantly, I know this team is always talking to our sales leaders every day, all day long. What are the trials and tribulations? What are the wins that we're having? Where could we, double down in that space? And so, if you keep that operator at the center of your universe, your customer, I should say, at the center of your
Mm-hmm.
universe, and build off of that, like that's how you become that great brand. And you got to stay at the top of the heap, right?
Mhm.
That is not easy to do, is to stay at the top. That's tough work. So
Yeah. Consistent work too. Never
discipline.
ends.
Never ends. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like everybody can really pull away from just the rallying cry itself, what this means. And then, of course, once you dig more into our premium promise, other things crop up that people really resonate with, or that really resonates with them, I should say. So I'm hopeful that despite it feeling so broad, there's something for everyone in our premium promise.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah. And so I guess if there is a premium story that you've experienced, maybe a premium moment at Lamb Weston that fully embodies our premium promise, what would that be? Or could you share that with us today?
Yeah. Do you want to go, Kim? You want me to?
You go first.
I think it's
I have a couple,
impossible.
so whatever you say,
Okay.
I'll say the
You
other
can
thing.
choose a different. Yeah, so I think it's really hard to not immediately go to being on the farm, at the innovation center, at the plant, and being up in Tri-Cities, right? Or in the Pacific Northwest in general. And so we know that's a huge peak moment for any lucky customer that gets to come and participate. So certainly that's a peak moment. And what we've really been trying to do in marketing is figure out how to scale that and make that more accessible to those that can't travel up or we just don't have the ability to invite. So, it's a challenge on us. And I think we're achieving some of that through the VR and other videos and ways that we can engage with our customers a little differently. But man, you feel the magic when you get to see the whole process. And so I think that whole tour experience really gets at that. And then again, they see the passion every time a customer comes. They leave with the unmistakable, wow, you guys really care about what you do. There's a true genuineness to that. So that's on us to figure out how to scale that more, but there's no better magic than going up for a customer tour.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know.
Go ahead, Rachel.
I was just saying, I know Haley, when we were up there recently, both been before, but it's like every single time you just get something different or you have a new interaction that you're like, this truly is magical. Not only is it stunningly beautiful coming from Chicago, looking at the farms, it's like, this is stunning, but having the conversations and just like different interactions every single time, it really is something special.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I love how we've taken that, Kim, like you said, and made it accessible to everybody, whether it's the VR experience or, through photography, through the videos, just even the non-VR videos. And you can feel like this majesty of the land and of our ability to convert that into something, a vegetable into something incredibly tasty and wonderful and, uplifting. So, yeah. When I think about premium experiences, I'm going to touch on something I mentioned in the last question, which is around category leadership and leading in that space. When you go somewhere new for the first time and you're like, wow, whether it's a restaurant, a hotel, could be even an airplane experience, right? When you get on and you're like, this is amazing. Man, like, I love this hotel. The touches are great. The people are so happy. Like, they have their training down. And then when you go like 3 years later and go, wow, it used to be great. It's not great anymore. Like, it really got run down. That is fighting gravity. It is hard to maintain that level of performance. And I'm kind of loosely tying this to premium, but I do think it's an important aspect for us to remember is that in order to stay at the top, like, you have to keep investing even in the foundation, even in the base, making sure that nobody ever says, man, that's run down, right? We don't ever want to be perceived as that. So I would say over the 7 years that I've been here, whether it's simplifying and strengthening the portfolio, making it so much easier for operators to find the right product, to how we've reinvented, our innovation pipeline and really delivering some really amazing, impactful innovation in the last handful of years from our digital experiences, right? Like, all the content you can get on a website now, extraordinary. That didn't exist at all before. All you could get was a spec sheet. Now you can find how to do an LTO, get a culinary inspiration, how to do a social post. You get to see Rachel in the wild, talking about Rubik's. Like, it is just so cool. And we've expanded those partnerships even beyond Lamb, whether it's some of the cooking platforms or partners like Rubik's. And so anyways, like, it fights gravity to keep pouring into the base, if you will, but you never want to feel like you're run down, and the team just keeps going, man. And so I don't know if that's premium, but it really kind of kicks butt. So I love it. I love that about us.
I think it goes into the relentless pursuit, though. I think it does. It's like
Yes,
Yeah.
it's that relentless
it
pursuit
does.
of like we're always trying to be better. You're gonna
Yeah.
have to pivot with the industry or just the times and things like that. So I think it fell in there quite perfectly.
Right. Like if somebody says, you have a premium promise, prove it. Like that's what I love about this campaign too, is we're going to have all
Mhm.
those proof points to say, yeah, we're living up to it. We're living up to
Mhm.
it.
Lots of proof points. Lots of proof points. There's
Yeah,
so many we could talk about, and we will in various
right
ways,
here.
but it's just incredible. Yeah, it's incredible. Every time somebody comes to Lamb Weston from a different industry, and I'd love to hear, Kim, if this was the same for you, they go, wow, it's really complex to make a French fry, way more than it feels like it should
Mhm.
be or could be. And I think that's what's really cool is there's so much opportunity to keep improving and look at our processing and see, are there ways that we can tweak things? I mean, there's a whole team dedicated to that. That's just crazy. You don't even get to hear about some of those things sometimes. So
Mhm.
yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. There's so many proof points that we have, and we're excited to share as part of all of our premium promise.
Mhm.
Yeah. At Lamb Weston, when I joined 7 years ago, still to this day, like let's not forget this, that we are held up in the industry as one of the premium suppliers, right? We are known for our highest performing, reliable product day in, day out. I mean, open a box, you know, we generally are winning every cutting. And we know the competition's getting better, so we're gonna get better. We're gonna get better.
Yeah.
Right. We launched some of our batters with 15-minute hold time. We're now at 30-minute hold time. Right. We didn't sit still in that space because we knew how important it was for those operators to have a product that would last longer. And so we delivered on that. We know that consumers are looking for interesting flavors, interesting cuts. We continue to deliver in that space. We've got different kinds of operators showing up in the strategic growth channels, SGI space. So how do we get French fries into there? So um, we have an incredible reputation in the industry, and we need to not forget that. And this is just going to help
Yeah.
give everyone a common way to talk about it.
Mhm. Yeah.
I
Great.
think, yeah, and I think Rachel and I have talked about this a lot with probably both of you at some point or another of using the dating or marriage metaphor, if you will. When you get something good, you don't stop trying. When you, even though you may feel we're at the top, we're at this really great apex. If that common motif is we're always improving and we're getting better, that's our premium promise. That's an everyday thing that comes naturally to people at Lamb Weston. So it's something that we've already felt, and now we just have a really great name to put with it. At least from my perspective, that's how I look at it.
Yeah, and help broadcast the stories that are maybe a little bit
Yeah.
behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you both for your time, and we will hear so much more. I'm sure we'll hear from you all again and more stories about our premium promise.
Yay. High
Thank
fries.
you.
Bye, fries. That's all for today's episode of Tater Talk. We were just really excited to talk to the Kims about our premium promise. I just loved so much of what they had to say about, not only the word premium, the word promise, but everything that goes into each of those chunks of that word. And I just really love the relentless pursuit. I think my favorite part is we're not going to be perfect, but we're going to try each and every day. And that's what we can promise from people here at Lamb Weston. And I think everyone in the company, whether they know it or not, like just by proxy of being a part of this company and this enterprise, is that everyone's along for that journey and committed to that promise, which I think is really awesome.
Yeah. And I think to Kim Hoffman's point in the very beginning, when she was talking about kind of how all this started, and that we didn't just create this as one marketing team, we pulled in so many diverse perspectives from sales and beyond that helped us craft what our premium promise means at Lamb Weston. And it should come as no surprise to anybody who's worked here and who understands what Lamb Weston is. But now we have that name to it, that recognition. So we're excited to keep pushing that forward. And of course, to talk to even more of those experts that we keep hearing about throughout our company. So we'll have much more in store on this podcast.
Yeah, so if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave a review. If there's someone that you want to hear from that you think has an amazing premium promise story, make sure to share it with us so we can share it with everyone else. And yeah, that's all today for Tater Talk.
See ya.
Bye.